The critical question is, which handle will we grab? The one of resentment, bitterness, anger, unfairness, or the one of forgiveness, strength, fortitude, looking for the good, looking for what we might do with what has happened? There have been people who have talked about how to be resilient, and then there is Epictetus, the acquired one. As his name translates from Greek, Epictetus was born, the son of a slave woman, and spent the first 30 years of his life in chains. As a young boy, he was purchased by a man so violent and depraved that at one point he twisted Epictetus's leg with all his might for reasons unknown. All we know from Epictetus is that he warned his master repeatedly, "You're going to break my leg." And finally, when it snapped, he looked at his master in the face and said, "I told you that would happen." From this incident, Epictetus's leg was shattered, and he walked with a limp the rest of his life. And yet not long after, something good happened. He began to attend the lectures of a Stoic philosopher named Musonius Rufus. And when Epictetus was freed from slavery in his 30s, he decided to become a philosophy teacher. His lectures immediately gained a large following. The poor, the affluent, the powerful, and even the future Emperor Hadrian were told pass through Epictetus's classroom. So what did he teach them? Why were people from all over the empire gathering at the feet of a one-time slave? It was because he could teach them what we all need: how to be resilient. It was this skill that Epictetus promised would ensure we lead a mainly untroubled life, the ability to overcome the worst and darkest of circumstances. And Epictetus had mastered it, and he taught others how to do it too. To develop resilience, or as Epictetus framed it, to understand the power of endurance, it begins with recognizing your primary mission in life. This mission revolves around the ability to differentiate between what is within our control and what is beyond our control, distinguishing between the things we can influence and those we cannot. This crucial differentiation is the key to distinguishing those who exhibit resilience from those who do not. Epictetus often used the example of being insulted to illustrate this point. What others say to us is beyond our control, but how we choose to respond is entirely within our power. When someone succeeds in provoking us, it is essential to acknowledge that our own minds play a role in our reaction. He referred to this as the faculty of choice and considered it our greatest and most effective gift. It is a distinctly human capability that played a vital role in his own resilience and survival, even during his time as a slave. Despite the moments of powerlessness or the frustration that arises when circumstances don't align with our desires, or when life seems unfair, we always maintain the authority to select our response, shape our attitude, manage our emotions, adopt a particular perspective, exercise our creativity, and form our judgments and opinions. This brings us to another lesson from the philosopher Epictetus. Every event can be viewed from two angles, like having two handles. One handle is incapable of lifting the event, for instance, when someone wrongs you. Instead, grasp the other handle, recognizing the relationship you share, such as being siblings, and that you were raised together. By doing so, you gain control of the handle that allows you to carry the event with resilience and grace. When adversity strikes, a recession hits, a pandemic sweeps across the globe, setbacks, struggles, uncertainties, inconveniences, whatever it is, the critical question is, which handle will we grab? The one of resentment, bitterness, anger, unfairness, or the one of forgiveness, strength, fortitude, of looking for the good, of looking for what we might do with what has happened? Are we going to grasp the problem or the opportunity, the have to or the get to, that this is unfair, that you have a right to be angry or that you have the power to move on? There is almost always some good hiding within or around the bad. You have to look for it and you have to grab hold of it. This is how we thrive in life. Well, almost always. Sometimes, as Epictetus knew well, there just isn't anything we can do. Sometimes, when you separate things into the categories of what is up to us and what isn't, sometimes it comes down that something is not up to us. The shot didn't go in. The stock went to zero. The whole industry collapsed and took your job with it. All you can do is let go and move on. Epictetus called this the art of acquiescence, surrendering to fate, accepting that there is a larger plan. It's not resignation, it's not pessimism, it's bold optimism fused with determination, the recognition that there is more at work behind the scenes than we know, that there is a bigger picture that we cannot see, something higher than ourselves. This, Epictetus says, does not make us weak. Far from it, it makes us powerful and unstoppable in every human way. The Stoics emphasize the concept of amor fati, which means embracing one's fate. It may have been easier for figures like Marcus Aurelius, who had power and wealth, to grasp this idea. However, even someone like Epictetus managed to see the challenges and adversity he faced as opportunities for personal growth. He recognized that these difficulties were shaping him into the person he needed to be in order to fulfill his role in instructing a generation of Romans on how to overcome the worst of circumstances. Certainly, this is not an easy mindset to adopt. It involves the challenging task of distinguishing what is within our control and what is not, choosing the right perspective, and accepting the hardships and suffering that life can bring. Epictetus described this process as a kind of hard winter training, urging us not to rush into situations for which we are unprepared. This aligns with the Stoic tradition of embracing challenges, welcoming adversity, and subjecting oneself to discomfort, be it through cold exposure, uncomfortable sleeping conditions, or physically demanding exercises. All of this effort is aimed at preparing ourselves for whatever challenges the world may throw our way. Every time life throws something at you, remember, this is training, a chance to get better. You are lifting heavy weights, and that is making you stronger. Focusing on this, seeing it this way, is up to you. You can choose the right handle, accept that you have some powerlessness, but that you retain an incredible power. It isn't always easy, but in time, Epictetus promised you will grow to be confident that there is nothing which you do not have the means to tolerate. And this was a man who was not simply speaking of overcoming adversity, but lived it through his whole life. And his example stands to us. Amor fati. Turn what you have to do into what you get to do. Turn what life throws at you into fuel for the fire that is making you great. In essence, when we discuss resilience, we are talking about actively building it. This involves practice, preparation, and most importantly, the acceptance of the reality of life's difficulties. It's about developing the mental and emotional strength to face adversity with grace and fortitude. I hope you find this passage insightful. If you have any specific questions or if there's anything else you'd like to explore, please feel free to let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'm grateful for your support. Please subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments section. I value your feedback and am always looking for ways to improve my content.